Hi everyone. On this video, I would like to feature the 25 highest selling vehicles in the United States with their sales numbers from caranddriver.com. This information can also be found on a variety of other websites, but I'm featuring the article from caranddriver.com. I will also be discussing where the Ford Maverick falls in this whole list. So stay tuned. All right, let's start with number one. That is a Ford. It is the Ford F-Series with 528,028 units sold. Now this article was updated just a few weeks ago during the beginning of October. And from what I have found, this data is based on the sales figures through the end of September. So as an estimate, over 500,000 Ford F-Series trucks were sold in the United States so far, and we still have, at that time, about a quarter of a year to go. So that is an amazing, long-standing record that the Ford F-Series is the best-selling vehicle in the United States. Moving on to item number two. That's the Chevy Silverado at just under 400,000 units. I'm amazed what a difference there is between the Silverado versus the Ford F-Series, but still very high, respectable numbers. After that, number three, the Toyota RAV4 with nearly as many sold in 2024 with over 350,000 units sold. Now, my brother owns a Toyota RAV4. His is a few years old, not a brand new 2024 edition, but nonetheless, it is quite popular and he appreciates it. I'm curious if anybody has any thoughts as to why these various vehicles are as popular as they are. Of course, we all have our own observations and opinions, but if anybody has any interesting comments to share, feel free. Also, you can do the research on these vehicles by clicking those links in the description, as I mentioned. All right. Continuing on, Tesla Model Y. This one surprised me. I knew Teslas were fairly popular, but I didn't realize that they were the second most popular non-truck that is being sold in the United States so far this year. At nearly 1/3 sold so far, although that is an estimate, I see. After that, number five is the Honda CR-V with 298,164 units sold. After that, now we have the Stellantis truck offering, if you will. So still over 250,000 units sold. Then the GMC Sierra, 229,011 units sold. Number 8, Toyota Camry, still almost 250,000 units sold. Then the Nissan Rogue. I had known previously that certain Nissans sold really quite well, but of course others are not selling very well at all, like the Nissan Z. But the Nissan Rogue with 189,000 plus, that's still very respectable, and it's in the top 10. And number 10 is the Honda Civic with over 188,000 units sold. Then the Toyota Corolla with over 177,000 units sold. Just an FYI, I think the GR Corolla is an amazing vehicle, although generally these numbers are going to represent the standard Corolla. Nonetheless, just a quick FYI, I like the GR Corolla. I think it's pretty fantastic. Next on the list is the Jeep Grand Cherokee with almost 161,000 units sold. Then the Chevy Trax with almost 150,000 units. Then another Ford, the Ford Explorer, almost 147,000 units. Then the Hyundai Tucson, almost 146,000. Here's another Chevy, the Equinox, almost 144,000. Then the Subaru Crosstrek, almost 132,000. Here's another Subaru with a Forester, just over 130,000 units sold. And here's another truck, the Toyota Tacoma, almost 127,000 units were sold so far this year. And another Subaru, the Outback, over 126,000 of those were sold. Next is the Honda Accord, nearly 125,000 units sold. So that would be about 1/8 of a million. Then another Nissan. Again, I'm surprised how many of these are selling, but Nissan Sentra, I have heard some good things about that. 123,732 units sold. Then a Kia. Nice. The Kia Sportage, almost 119,000. Then the Toyota Tundra, almost 118,000 units sold. After that, the Honda HR-V with nearly 115,000 units sold. So these were the 25 best-selling cars, trucks, and SUVs of 2024 so far as of end of September, beginning of October. Now, I was curious where the Maverick is in all of this. So keep in mind, number 25 is 114,805 units. If we move over to the Maverick for United States sales, we're looking at 108,996. So not too far removed from number 25. Didn't quite make the top 25, and we'll see what the end of the year brings. But keep in mind, the current iteration of the Ford Maverick, the 2022, 23, and 24, those model years, although some were actually sold when the model year began selling at the end of 2021 as a 2022 model year. But with these 3 key model years included, those are wrapping up, and the 2025, as many of you already know, that is the facelifted, updated Maverick. And so I have a feeling that some of these sales have slowed, as you see here in September, a somewhat significant difference between August and September here. Whereas last year, August to September, was much more of a consistency as well as the previous year for those sales figures. So just FYI, the sales were ramping down, I suspect, for the Maverick in preparation for the 2025 model with its updates coming out. So in any case, the Maverick is certainly a very high-selling vehicle. It's certainly very popular. I didn't buy it just because it was popular, although I think that's a pretty cool thing, and it helps with my YouTube videos, so go figure. But it meets my personal needs. As many of you have heard before on my previous videos, I like the size, I like the style, I like the all-wheel drive, I like the amazing gas mileage that I'm getting, I like the fact that there are Ford dealerships all over the United States so that I can get my oil changed or other maintenance if I want to. If I'm not already doing it on my own, I have a great place to go that is going to give me the dealer parts and all of that service. So with that, thank you all for watching, and I hope you all have a great weekend.